All right, so the treadmill case is officially complete, at least in terms of the trial side of things. Sentencing is coming up really soon. I believe it's in August. Um, but we have some things to talk about. He got charged on aggravated manslaughter. Now, I thought we were going for the murder, but apparently, aggravated manslaughter carries something up from 30 years to life. It's a long sentence. You know what I'm saying? It's a very long sentence. And by the reaction of Miss Breanna Micciolo in the courtroom, she was happy about that sentence. But remember, we may have never even come to this point if it wasn't for the Justice for Corey movement. Because at first, he was charged with like child abuse or something really minor. And it's not because if it wasn't for her and all the publicity that she stirred up around the case, who knows if he even would have gotten that charge, because now he's really looking at a crazy sentencing. So right here we have an interview that Breanna does with this YouTuber. We're going to check him out, and pretty much describes what happened that very day. Like what happened when you dropped him off to the point that we got here now. So without further ado, people, I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip. It's a pretty interesting one. So make sure you guys grab the things y'all need, man, because you're not gonna want to look away.
I want my viewers to understand, why you're seeking, so much justice for Corey. Tell us about April 2nd, if you can.
Okay, so April 2nd, I dropped Corey off at Chris's at 9 a.m. It was as normal as it could be, knowing everything we were going through, the abuse and everything. But unfortunately, I had to go. So I dropped him off at 9 a.m. And then around 3:30, Chris called me, and he told me that Corey was sick. Um, he was tired, throwing up, and it didn't make sense because when I dropped him off, he was fine. I mean, he was talking, he was walking, he was breathing, everything was fine. And then he told me that he needed Corey's insurance card, and I had to send it to him, and then hung up on me.
I get the feeling that telling her some wild shit and then immediately hanging up on her was kind of Christopher's thing, which is crazy. It's like, bro, I even saw in the comments that he was peeing dirty just like her. I mean, come on. Like, both of you guys had a quote unquote drug problem. You know what I'm saying? So the way he hated her and hated the fact that he had that child with her is actually hypocritical as hell, bro. He doesn't want to have a child with a drugged up mom when he's drugged up too. Like, come on now. This shit is ridiculous. Let's continue.
And then after that, I texted him a few times. I called him and I said, "What hospital is he at? Because I'm going to come meet you there." Right. No answer, nothing at all. And you can't just tell someone that their kid is sick. You're taking them to the hospital and not tell them what hospital you're at or anything. So right. Then, me and my mom called the police. And we explained to them what was going on, that he just called and said he was sick, and now I don't know where he is. He won't answer. So they reached out to him. They called him and went to his apartment, and he wasn't home. He didn't answer the phone. So this went on for like...
Which is crazy. How would they charge him for child abuse or something like that when he leaves his kid and then flees from the entire, like, what? He goes off to Tennessee, bro, turns his phone off. That's not consciousness of guilt? Like, what is that? Bro puts the kid in the hospital, barely, barely, if Breanna would, step up and send him the insurance, right? So he takes him to the hospital, and then he runs immediately, turning off his phone. That shit's not a coincidence, bro. That's why sometimes I'm like, what are the police doing? Like, what are you guys doing sometimes? Not everywhere, but shit, bro. It's pretty wild. And now you have this traumatized family who didn't even need you in the picture, but now you're just all fucked up because of something that you didn't want.
About an hour. Okay. And then, we're panicking. I'm just can't do much besides call hospitals. And
Right.
of course, the only hospital we didn't call was the one he was at. So,
Right. Okay.
and around 5:30, we got a knock on the door, and it was to notify us that Corey passed away, and I didn't
Right.
believe it. I was
Uh,
I. It took a long time for them to convince me that it was even him. Like,
right. Like this can't be real.
yeah,
It's like an out
especially
of
because he
body.
was fine.
Right.
He was just fine, and
Right.
it, I had no idea. But my first thought in my head was, "Holy shit, he killed him."
Yeah, the first
That was
thought you have is probably the right one, which is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he's gonna call her and say, "Oh, he's sick." Kids don't get sick in 2 hours, bro. And then his lawyer came through with the acute sepsis or something like that, to where it could happen over a rapid period of time. And it's like they were really reaching for the most rare occasion possible to be true for Corey, which is bullshit, bro. There's no way I'd drop you off at 9 o'clock and by 3:30 you're dead. Somebody killed him. 6-year-olds don't just die like that. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
was my. I was like, he really did it. I can't believe he did it. So
Right. Were you telling them where's dad? Did you like when did you learn that
yes,
he left the hospital?
that was my first thing. I was like, "Where's his
Right.
dad? What's going on?" And they actually told me that, well, we're here because we're scared he's gonna come here. And I was like, why?
Okay.
And I thought they meant he was gonna come here and like talk to me and tell me what the hell happened to Corey. But
Right.
then they're like, we're afraid for your safety.
Bullshit.
And I was like, okay. And then, we sat around freaking out.
That's just them showing force. That's the police showing up to your door and like, yeah, we just care about you, man. They don't give a fuck. They already fucked up. They don't have your interest in mind. This is so that you don't, I don't know. It's not like she could sue the department, but it just makes them look a little bit better. Oh yeah, yeah, send some units out to the mom's house. Send some units out. You know he's not fucking going to her house. His phone is off. Does that sound like a I'm gonna go attack my ex type of vibe, or does that sound like a I'm running my ass out of town type of vibe? Exactly.
And then they told us that he's nowhere to be found, and they're pinging his phone. They're trying to find him. He left the hospital. And we later found out that he actually left Corey at the hospital as he was dying and went to Tennessee.
Mm, mm. I speak for all my people. Our condolences, and I know this is tough for you. And I'm very sorry to hear this, and soon. Uh, again, my condolences. This is tough. This is tough for everybody. This is tough to hear about a man leaving his son in the hospital, especially as a parent. You know what I mean? Especially as a parent. I know I speak for all the parents, not even just the parents, people around the world. Forget being a parent.
Facts.
That something's not right here. Something is wrong, right? So
Right.
once he went to Tennessee, what did he do? Did he get an attorney? What did he do?
So I didn't find this out until later, but I found out that he retained an attorney, and it wasn't just any attorney. It was an actual high-profile murder
Mm-hmm.
attorney. Okay.
Yes, celebrity
You know what?
attorney.
Yeah.
Seen it.
So
Yeah.
he actually has a show on, I don't know. He did a
Yeah.
reality show or something,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew that guy seemed like a fucking douchebag. He's a reality star attorney or some shit, like a big shot. And why are you gonna go hire a murder attorney? Why not get a civil attorney or something? Why not just get, a murder come on now. A criminal attorney? Crazy. And daddy got that for him. Ain't no way he retained that lawyer on his own. That's that old money coming through. Daddy came through and he was like, son, what the fuck did you do? He was like, Dad, I need help. And Pops got it for him. Which is like, I guess, you're going to always look out for your kid, but shit, bro. that's crazy. Run away, turn off your phone, get an attorney. Crazy, bro. It's for your own child.
so he retained him April 3rd. So
let
that's
me ask you one more question. So since the phone call on April 2nd at 3:30 when he called you, have you heard from him? To anything? Have you heard anything from him? That was the
No,
last conversation. Not a text, not a nothing, not
haven't
just
seen him. Nothing.
right.
I got a
So I
text
know
from him.
you did,
I
Becky,
did
you did.
that night.
Okay.
I believe this is her mom. I'm not too sure, but there's a woman in the corner. Just in case you guys can't see her, it has to be her mom. It only makes sense. But let's see what she has to say. So he texted her mom, and it's probably some disgusting shit. If only this, or if only that, this wouldn't have happened. Or I bet you it's gonna be some disgusting shit.
When I sent him a text and said, "Why did you have to do that to Corey? You could have just given him back to us and you could have been free." And
Yeah.
he said that he was going to file a lawsuit against all of us that were bashing him on Facebook. That was all he had to say.
And that's
Well,
actually how we found him in Tennessee, I think, because he turned his phone on and they pinged it because it was off for a long time. So
wow.
I'm
Wow.
happy he sent that text.
Again, I'm not judge, I'm not jury, I'm not any of that, but I'm a man. I'm a man with common sense, and I'm a man, as and I'm a father. So knowing that, just that part alone, I know, people sometimes tend to, well, maybe this happened, maybe this, just that point alone,
Yeah,
because if I'm not mistaken, right, Bree,
preach
fill
it,
me
bro.
in about the next day, wasn't it April 3rd that he was supposed to? Weren't you guys supposed to have a meeting or something the next
Oh,
day?
April 2nd, the day he passed
Okay.
away, we
Okay.
were supposed to take him to a child abuse exam with I guess it was an expert that CPS said we, had to take him to, and he was supposed to take him and I was supposed to meet him there and he didn't take him.
Mm, 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 mm.
What time
So
was
that's
it?
okay. So basically, what he did was he dropped his son. He knew he was already going to be in trouble. Oh, they're thinking, and he ran off and thought about himself, basically.
Yeah, he avoided police contact as much as possible. Instead of calling
Mhm.
911, he drove Corey to the hospital, wasted 10 minutes of them possibly saving his life just to
Right.
avoid police contact. As soon as he
I
realized,
didn't even think about that. That's another good point she made. If you called the ambulance, they would have been boom. I know it's a big bill, but this is your child. I know everybody in America is like, nah, fuck the ambulance. I'm gonna drive myself there. Cool. Makes perfect sense. You're a grown ass man. But this is a fucking child. You're not gonna call the ambulance so they could have medical attention on site. Hook him up, boop bop, beep, boop, like you know what I'm saying. Have all that shit happening while he's there. Who knows? Maybe he would have survived. And if he survived, Chris was so stupid, bro. If he survived, Chris wouldn't have even had charges that serious. Now he's looking at 30 years. If he had just said, you know what, I was beating my kid and I took it too far, they would have charged him. He would have got some little slap on the wrist, probably took his kid away. Best thing that could have ever happened for him, and she could have had her kid back. But what does he do? He hides it further, possibly causing him to die because of that. So, because I know when he hit him, I know he didn't do it on purpose. Let me take that back. I know he didn't mean to kill him. He probably hit him. Boom. Like, yeah, that's what you get. And then he sees him kind of crouch over, and then he starts getting worried, like, oh no, maybe I hit him too hard. That's what actually happened. I don't think he was out here like, yeah, I'm going to kill Corey today. I don't think that's how it went. But let's continue.
this was bad, he left Corey
Right.
at the hospital and then went to Tennessee. I mean, there's no one in Tennessee that I know of that he knows, so I think he just went as far as possible so he could
Right.
get that attorney, and then he
Mm-hmm.
was coming back.
Right.
And at
Yeah.
this point, no one was even talking about murder. The cops weren't even talking about murder. They just wanted to ask him about what had happened, and he would not answer any questions, and he still hasn't.
Right. Well, one other question. Do you have has anybody from the other side other than him, like somebody else from his family, reached out to you guys? Has
No,
anybody else other than him? You understand? We already got that established. Like family members,
no,
grandparents, and aunts,
No
and
grandparents,
nobody's reached out to
nothing.
you guys at all.
no, nothing. Not
Wild,
to say
bro.
sorry.
Nah.
Not
Right.
even the fucking grandparents, bro. That's your grandchild. Which even, like, for me, bro, I don't know if they really love that kid, bro. That's a 4-year-old imposter. The only reason I feel like they wanted that kid is because it made them look bad that their son was over here fucking everybody unconsensually at that and leaving them behind. That's what looked bad. So they're like, son, you gotta tighten up. You fucked up. Now this is your burden to carry. They didn't care about that kid, bro. They wouldn't be acting like that. If they really cared about that kid, they would probably still love their son, but they would be hoping that he gets some type of jail time for it, to be honest, bro. I can't imagine a world where I kill my child and my mom just does everything to protect me and like just hopes that I don't go to jail. I don't see that. She would be like, son, you fucked up. You're going to probably have to go to jail for that. Like, come on, bro. You're not saying you have to help the police, but damn sure you don't have to step in, which is what their fucking parents did. You don't have to step in. Pulling down posters while they're putting up the justice for Corey sign, yanking them down, cussing her out. Families are fucked up, people. I'll tell you that much.
This is crazy. Okay, so now the moral of the story is, so far this man has not been charged with anything but child abuse.
Yep.
From the video that they seen him, abusing your son in the fitness place, right? That's the only thing he's been charged with. So he hasn't been charged with anything else.
No.
Okay, now let's get to the medical examiner. I know the medical examiner has a lot to do with this, and that's, I explained that to you earlier when we were talking. The medical examiner has to rule it a certain way. So how did the medical examiner rule this so far?
So as of right now, his manner of death, which there's 5 possible manners. One is homicide, one's suicide, one's accidental, one's natural causes, and one's undetermined. And right now it's at undetermined, and his cause of death is a heart contusion, cardiac contusion.
Okay. So definitely basically bruised on the heart. Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And
okay.
If you look into it and you research it a little bit, it's not something that happens naturally. And I've searched ways it could happen to somebody, and the most common ways are car accident, a fall from a 2-story building, or a blunt force trauma.
So basically, you're basically
trauma.
Maximum pressure, like you said, to falling that. So something major happened. Basically, the thing is that we understand that something happened, but all we want to know is what, right? That's what we want from the dad. We just want to know what happened. We just want to know, why did you run? We just want to know, why would you drop your son who's obviously in desperate need of medical attention? Why would you drop him off and leave? Why would you do that? Right? And these are just questions that the world wants to know.
When I met with a detective, because I've had meetings with him a few times, and I said that to him, I was like, I just want to know why he did this, why he did that. And he was like, we would like to know too. And I was like, it's crazy how he can just sit there silent. I know there's a 5th Amendment and everything, but there's a little boy that's not here anymore. No one has to answer for that.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
I don't care who your lawyer is. He needs to have to be questioned, even if he has a lawyer,
Right. And let me ask you, do you feel that his affiliation, or who his one of his parents are, as a retired detective?
Oh, absolutely. It's been like this the whole time.
So, right, because a lot of my subscribers might not have understood that part, that this guy's dad is a retired detective, correct?
He's a retired New Jersey State cop, trooper.
Oof. Okay.
He's a
there
fucking
you go.
trooper.
Right. So
you see how he responded? Oof, trooper. Yeah, that house was militant. His dad was a dickhead. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think his son turned out to be?
So many layers to this.
Yeah, they have a lot of money, and
other family members in law enforcement.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's just, I understand it, but you know what's crazy, because I did see a lot of hate for the grandparents, and I get that, right? And I understand that, but as I was explaining the other day, they did what he was supposed to do, is what I'm trying to, they automatically, their first reaction was to protect their son, right? However,
Right.
however people want to look at it,
Yeah.
he didn't have that same gene in him,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. See?
You
See,
understand?
that's why I said, man, this bro is preaching. Go check out Tales from the Pen. Um, yeah. I don't know what else to say. That's I said earlier in another video, his parents were probably harsh, could probably been abusive, could have probably been, and these are all probablys, maybes, what ifs, whatever, right? But I'm pretty sure it is. But no way do I think his father, the state trooper, would have thought, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this kid up today, and take it to the point to where he kills his son on accident. So now we fast forward to Gregor. It's just like degradation of the standard, I guess, over time. The father was this bad, so you gotta take it another level, and they took it too far this time. But again, your instinct is to protect your child. That shit was non-existent for Gregor. Non-existent. That shit wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? It was not there.
And so, they did what, oh man, and sometimes people, sometimes you got to look at it and say, forget what the law says or what the judge says, but sometimes the court of public opinion is not the actual courtroom, so the prosecutors are going to have to get that from the medical examiner, who has to rule some type of something here, and then the prosecution can put their case together, because the cops, to be honest with you, they probably all want to get him, because morally, who really is going to stand behind him other than flesh and blood, right? Like, let's
Right.
just, yeah, you understand? So
No,
no one's
absolutely.
really, yeah, no one's going to really stand behind him unless it's flesh and blood. And the other guys, believe me, the prosecution is on it. They know what's going on. And I believe that eventually we're going to get justice for Corey. We're not going to give up. We're not giving
Yeah.
up. We are
No,
going to
they
get justice for Corey.
they
Go ahead.
can't leave his manner of death undetermined. I mean, he's a child, you can't just be like,
Right.
oh well, we don't know what happened. Oh well. I mean,
Right.
especially under
That's
the
the thing.
circumstances, there's no way.
That's the thing that's annoying to me. We just want to know what happened, and that to me is guilty. Like I say again, but I'm the court of public opinion. I'm just I'm nobody. But again, it's a big difference to actually prove a case, in the court of law. That's why the prosecution is tight, because
Right.
everybody's being quiet, no one's saying anything. But there's gonna have to be something's gonna have to happen, and I don't want this guy to think that he's just gonna walk around and just be fine with his life. I don't want this guy walking around thinking that he could just move on with his life.
It's the finger for me. Nah, it's a fact though. She probably felt like nothing was gonna happen, but best believe prosecution was in there cooking. As you can see, they did a masterclass. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they didn't really make much mistakes. Prosecution was doing their thing, and I will have to give it to the defense. Defense was doing their thing, bro. They were doing their thing. As much as you want to hate them or love them, that lawyer that Gregor had, I thought it was gonna be like some landslide bullshit. Like there's nothing to defend here, but he had the sepsis plan. He had the mother smearing campaign going. Like he had a lot of things in motion trying to help his client. And I still think having a lawyer like that probably gave him the best outcome possible. We'll wait for sentencing and see. But yeah, it was a lot was happening behind the scenes for sure at that point in time.
While while he
Right.
left all this carnage behind, it doesn't work like that. So we are definitely going to get some justice for Corey. That's just how it goes. So tell us about his court dates, anything you got coming up, any protests, anything like that. Let the people
Okay.
know.
So we have a rally on August 28th. That's in front of the Barnegat Police Department. And that's at what time? I think it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
And then we have, I think the next court hearing is September 15th. And right now I'm trying to find out from the prosecutor's office if that's going to be in person or it's going to be virtual. But I did get told that as a victim, I'm allowed to attend. So if it's in person, I'm kind of nervous because I haven't seen him at all. And
Right.
so
Right.
I
I
don't,
know.
I don't know.
How you would react. I know. I get it.
Right.
I mean, but knowing that, then you might have to just, do do some breathing exercises or something like that, you know. But I get it. Listen, hey,
Yeah.
I can't tell you what to do when you see him. Believe me, I'm the last
Yeah,
one
I
to
can't tell
give
myself
you advice
either. I
like
mean,
that.
it's
Right?
gonna
No,
be
I get
like
it.
whatever. I mean,
Right. You know. Okay. So another thing I want to speak about is what's going on with his gravesite. Can you elaborate a little bit about what happened recently at his gravesite?
okay, so we, since he's been buried there, we've left, pictures, toys, just, everything, anything he liked, we like to leave there.
Okay.
Um, so a couple days ago, like, was it last week maybe, or over the
I think
weekend?
it was Saturday or
Right.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We went to visit him. We go every day, so we know if something's misplaced, even if it's moved an inch. I know, I'm there so often.
Right.
So we went there, and there were three pictures missing. Two of them were of me and Corey, and then one was just Corey. And then there were three books that were there that other people brought for Corey, and there were some toy cars, and was
A
there
little
any? Yeah, there was just like a
just little
ceramic
toys.
painted like turtle or something, just things people left for him. It wasn't just us leaving it was other people, and
Right.
it was all missing. And before we freaked out, we wanted to reach out to whoever runs the cemetery, and a friend of mine that knows him reached out, and he said no one touched anything. um, no one from here did it, so I don't know anyone else that would do that except the person that abused and murdered him.
Okay. Right.
Who else
Right.
would do
Right.
that?
Okay. Right. Yeah. So we got to get some type of thing, some type of security around the gravesite or something like that. What I'm going to
Okay.
do is I'm going to put the link in the description at the end of the video. People, I'm letting all my audience know. At the end of this video, you're going to see the link in the description for the GoFundMe page and everything like that. So we can.
That was pretty much it, y'all. But what do you guys think about whoever went there and took those toys, bro? I'm sorry. That was either Chris's family. That was either Chris's family or Chris himself, bro. I don't see anybody else in the planets that would do some sick shit like that. I mean, there's a small chance that maybe some kids were in the graveyard and stole the toys, but that's stupid. That's a stupid idea. That's not what happened. Long story short. So, yeah, bro. Imagine that. That's crazy. Anyways, shout out Tales from the Pin. Really dope channel over there. That interview really uncovered who this guy is even further. But anyways, we have the verdict, y'all. So I'm gonna show you guys a snippet of the verdict, and it's just a beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful thing of this entire case is when they say he's guilty. Let's check this out.
Madam Foreperson, would you please rise? Madam Foreperson, has the jury reached a verdict?
It has, sir.
And is that verdict unanimous?
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm going to read to you each count. Please give me the jury's unanimous response. 1, how do you find as to count 1 endangering the welfare of a child?
Guilty.
2, how do you find as to count
Endangering the welfare of a child. Guilty. That's 1.
2 murder?
Not guilty.
This is what made my heart sink because she said not guilty to murder. But I didn't understand that's not what we were going for. I didn't know we were going for aggravated manslaughter. But anyways, let me back it up and stop ruining it. Let's hear it again.
Response. 1, how do you find as to count 1 endangering the welfare of a child?
Guilty.
2, how do you find as to count 2 murder?
Not guilty.
3, how do you find as to the charge of aggravated manslaughter?
Guilty.
And you did not answer question 4?
No, sir.
See that face? You see that face? Whole life flashed in front of him, bro. Whole life flashed in front of him right there. Let's look at that face one more time. That face was fuck. That's what that face said.
Murder.
Not guilty.
3, how do you find as to the charge of aggravated manslaughter?
Guilty.
And you did not answer question 4?
No, sir.
At this time, thank you, Madam Foreperson, you can be seated. At this time, I'm going to poll the jury. Members of the jury, you've heard
You want to cry, huh, bitch? Yeah, he wants to cry now, folks. That shit crazy,
the verdict
right?
as read by your foreperson.
Look at Breanna in the
At this
corner.
point, I'm going
Hell
to ask
yeah.
each juror by number, except the 2 alternates, to respond yes if the verdict read by the foreperson is your verdict, no if the verdict read by the foreperson is not your verdict. Juror number 2. Juror number 3 is empty. Juror number 4 is alternate. Juror number 5.
Yes.
Juror number 6.
Yes.
Juror number 7.
Yes.
Juror number 8.
Yes.
Just think
Juror
about it,
number
bro.
9.
Just think about it.
Juror number 10.
Just think
Juror
about
number
it.
11 is an alternate. Juror number 12. Juror number 13 has been excused. Juror number 14.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16. Is counsel satisfied that the verdict is unanimous?
Yes.
At this time, I would ask the clerk to record and note in the minutes that the verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the function you have performed is one of the most important civic duties you can ever be called upon to fulfill. With the return of your verdict, your service in this case is complete. Upon your discharge, you are not required, except upon court order, to discuss your deliberations or verdict with anyone.
And there you go. Sweet. It's sweet, ain't it? It's nice. Fuck that guy. The guy's a dickhead. But yeah, that was pretty much it. He's looking at some time, y'all. Now he can still fight some things. He could still do some appeals. He could still, he could still do some maneuvers for probably the forthcoming year and a half. But then after all that's done, he's gonna have to sit down in that nice little jail cell and think about life, bro. Think about that shit. We'll see you when you're 61 or 62 or like 65, or maybe you'll just die in there. To each their own. Whichever you decide doing. Crazy, man. But anyways, folks, love you guys, man. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to come at y'all with a live later on tonight. So make sure you guys tap in for the evening time live. It's going to be 4 p.m. PST. So come check me out. Fuck with your boy or whatever, Roll up, get the after work snack, whatever y'all be doing. And let's go check this thing out tomorrow. Well, until then, folks, stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Again, it's been great. I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.